Holy Intamin, we are live. Welcome to the Chain Dogs podcast, where we talk about everything theme parks, amusement parks, roller coasters, the attraction industry from all around the world. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. If you are listening to this on podcast after the live show, just to let you know that we do it live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Over on the Chain Dogs YouTube channel. So come and join us, get involved in the chat. How are we all doing, guys? We all good?
Oh, good. Thank you. Really good.
Yeah.
Excited for this episode. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. And we are missing James. He tried his hardest to get on.
He tried. Bless
he's
him.
in Germany at the minute. He just got there today. He's going to be doing Phantasialand Land tomorrow. Is he doing 2 days there? I think he's doing 2 days. Yeah, 2 days.
So
he tried to log on, but it wasn't working for him. So, but he'll be back next week, and we can
have a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good day, James.
Best of time. I have the best time ever.
Yeah, it's gonna
enjoy
be so
that pre-Phantasialand anxiety. It hits you like a fucking train.
Yeah, it does. It's one of them parks, man. But yeah, obviously it is Mikhail's last episode on the Chain Dogs for a little bit while he relocates himself over to Canada. So yeah, we kind of wanted to do like a big special episode, but it just hasn't lined up well with like me being away, and Luke's been really busy, and James has not been able to put a quiz together because he's the quiz master along with Dave.
Yeah,
damn it, James.
But what that does mean is the first one back will be an extravaganza. So
yeah, it'd be so good. I can't wait. Yeah, get back soon, Mikhail, please.
I'll try. I'll probably, if I can, I'll like hop in the chat on episodes that I'm not, here for.
MS said, "Can we get a oh yeah? So, yeah, shall we do it?
Yeah.
Can I get a
oh yeah? Everyone, chat, go for it. Anyway. Hello, Parks and Pints. Hello, Carl. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Matt. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Joe Dyer.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Jesse. How are we all doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of news tonight. I mean, it's not like loads of news, but it's like significant news.
Yeah.
So what we're going to cover tonight is Parque Warner Madrid. There's new information on their Intamin coaster that they'll be getting soon. Parc Asterix, massive news on I always butcher this. Toutatis.
Two titties,
I'm sure it's two
titties.
titties, but
Two titties. And big news from PortAventura, which that's going to be our main topic tonight.
Huge news.
Yeah, so I got back from Germany this morning. Me and Joe went out there. So I just wanted to talk just briefly about some of the stuff we did over there. So have either of you done Hansa or Hyder?
No, unfortunately not. No.
I haven't been to either. I'm really curious.
I'm finally done a park that
well.
Mikhail has not been to.
I did, however, do a metal skull version of Canon, so I did a lot of research on that before I did that.
It was sick. So yeah, like, mate, I just want to take a brief moment to talk about Hansa Park.
You take that brief moment, mate.
I thought you were going to say take a brief moment to savor the fact that you've been to a park.
No.
Moments of silence, please, from Mikhail.
Let's do that as well. But no, like I said on Twitter, I was going there expecting like big things from Canon because everyone's always like, not everyone. It is kind of underrated a little bit. Now I've gone to see it.
Like I
people
know
who have done it,
the people who do know about it and like obviously have ridden it talk so highly of it.
Yeah,
but everyone else is kind of just like I don't feel like anyone has it on their some people somewhere will have it on their bucket list, but like I feel like I don't run into that many people who do, and I'm not one of them either.
I feel like it's because it's one of them parks that it's like you feel like, oh, it's going to be one of them parks where like Carney is going to be like the big standout thing, and then everything else is going to be. But the whole park is like so nice. Like honestly, the whole park blew me away. Like I've never been to a park like that before. It's just like so quaint, and like the theming is like next level on everything as well. Like it's got so much history to it. Like it was the second ever Legoland park to exist after the original Billund, and then it changed over to Hansa because it was like too expensive to run as Legoland. But that was like crazy fact. I learned. And then but like it's just so nicely presented, really clean park, to the fact that like they even like when you go into the park, they have like the date in flowers like planted. I'm like, they do that every single day, like plant the numbers.
Oh, I did hear that about there actually.
Like little details like that. It's just
they must
phenomenal.
It just shows they care.
Fucking greenhouse.
Yeah, honestly, the planting,
living with the land somewhere hidden away in that park.
It was just it's a stunning place. And you know, just going into that park, and then even just seeing, I'm going to go on to Carnan. That's what I'm going to mainly talk about, because I don't want to dwell on it too much. We've got vlogs coming, so if you want to check out more, they're going to come out soon. But like, just coming into that park and seeing like Nessie, Nessie, which is like the Schwarzkopf, Royal Scotsman, which is the coaster, like the mine train coming through it, the loop, and then Highlander, like that massive gyro drop tower, like all entwined with each other. It's just like so cool to see. And like then you go, and then obviously you go over to Carnan, and it's just like this absolute monster. Like it's just so flipping big, like that tower as well. This is going to be spoiler free, by the way. I'm not going to tell you, because like I think I kind of knew what was going to happen, but there's a lot in there I didn't know what was going to happen, and I think that's the best way to experience this. It's like not really knowing what to expect.
There's one. I agree, by the way, but there's like the one major thing that it does, like as a secret, like I know about, like I know exactly what it does. And I'm still not going to be ready for it.
Mate, like, you're not.
I know for a fact that I'm when I eventually write it, I might as well be blind to it, because I know I'm not going to be ready for that.
we got there.
Nah, man.
I was vlogging it, and I was filming Carnan, and then I just went, and in that tower there's something secret, and Joe went, "Well, there's a secret," and I was like, "What, you don't know?" I didn't even know Joe didn't know about it. Like I just assumed that she did. And I was like, "So you don't know what happens?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be good." And she was not ready. She had no idea what was coming. But yeah, like, that thing is just, it's a beast. Like, it's unlike, it doesn't even feel like a Gerstlauer. That's the maddest thing about it. Like, even the actual, when you go outside, it's just like,
looks like one.
I mean, that what is it called, an octopus arm, that big element, which basically that's the official name of it, octopus's arm. You know, just like it's basically a sea serpent roll that doesn't invert. That's what it is.
That's what I knew.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a non-inverting sea serpent.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, because I was looking at it and I was like, it's just such a mad looking element. Like everywhere you look at it from different angles, you're like, what the hell does that, like, what is that?
Spaghetti.
Like, it's spaghetti, but
floating.
It's
spaghetti.
quite, but it's quite nice, because it's not like, you know, when you look at the Smiler and you're like, oh, it's just a mess of track. Like this is kind of just like a statement, because it's kind of minimal in a way. When you're there, you're like, this is hard to explain, but
from my vantage point, it kind of looks like from what you see of the outside portion of the ride, like obviously the what'd you say it was called, an octopus arm is what people call it?
Octopus arm. That's basically
that'll take up like most of people's attention in terms of the outdoor section of the park. But then it looks like it goes into like so many like low to the ground turns after it, and like really intense moments that really don't get talked about anywhere near as much as the first.
It's when you come out of that. When you come out of that tower, like you feel like you're gonna hit the ground, like because you just come out. You're in dark for so long because a big portion of the queue is all inside. It feels like you're going through a castle. So well themed, amazing pre-show. Like the audio in there is just so good. Like what I will say is this isn't really I don't think this is a spoiler because this is something I wish I had known going into it. As the loading procedure. Do you know about the loading procedure?
I know some bits about it. I know that it's.
Do you think that's a spoiler of a site? I don't think it really is, but
I don't think like it's randomized, right? Like
so
I don't think that's a spoiler because
no,
like,
it's kind of just like the loading option. I'm gonna say this a bit anyway.
Yeah.
Mute it for like 30 seconds if you don't want to know, but I don't think this is a spoiler because it's not. It's just a really unique way of loading a coaster.
Right.
So you basically get put into like a big round room, and then there's like you have basically 4 rows, 4 in each row, and then like the doors close, and then like this mad music playing. There's like German being spoken. You don't know what the hell's being said, but then it's basically like all the doors are light, all the doors are lighting up, and then so is the floor because you're on a spot, and then basically it lights up a certain row and then lights up a random door. So you go in there thinking, oh, I'm on the front row, I'm going to be in the front row, or I'm at the back or middle, and then suddenly it goes from 1 and tells you which one to go in. So anyone on that row could potentially get the front, and it was like a game show.
That's actually
it's fucking sick because like sick. Everyone's like so after you know it, like you're like kind of like where everyone's like going and then it lights up, and then they're like, okay, which one are we going to go to? And they're like, oh, and then suddenly on the front row they all just cheer, and I was like, that's just one of the best like loading things I've ever experienced. But yeah, it was really, really cool.
Yeah, that sounds really
but I wish I'd known that going in because I got
Sean
really
and Joe,
confused.
come on down.
But yeah, it was so good, that coaster, the theatrics of the whole thing, the fact that there's like 2 indoor sections as well, like apart from the lift and stuff, like it's just sick. We did it later on in the day, and oh my god, that thing flies around at the end of the day. And I'm so glad I did Conda, because like that at the top of that, well, let's just call it a sea serpent because it doesn't invert. That's literally what Conda's non-inverting cobra roll feels like, because it's basically it is the same kind of element. But it just feels like you're so much higher up, and Jesus, yeah, it's just there's no words. Like that is like one of the best coasters I've ever done in my life, just because the whole theming of it, the dark ride set, like it's just so good. But yeah, that's all I'll say about it.
I feel like I'd be more interested in the thematics and the like storytelling of the attraction more so than the coaster itself, even though like, you know, everyone who rides it says like it's a, you know, it's a top 10 worthy coaster, top 5 worthy coaster, whatever the case may be. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's its location, or
I think
just
it's
like
a combination of location, theme, uniqueness, and just I'm saying like I don't know what it is that's like making me like not making me feel drawn to it, because like on paper it seems like it's got
it seems like a coaster that that should be high up on my bucket list, but like and this isn't just because I'm leaving Europe soon. No, but like
I hate Europe.
This is how I felt towards it like for ages. Like I've always just recognized it to be what it is, but I've never felt like a strong pull towards it. But if there's anything about it that I would feel like strongly about going and experience it, it would be the theming and like the storytelling and the aesthetics of the experience and stuff.
It's like
like I feel like the actual ride itself would like take me by surprise. Like, which is weird to be able to.
I had high hopes, because like I like Gerstlauers. I don't love them. Like I'm not like they are my favorite manufacturer. Like they're not.
They're quirky.
And they're quirky, definitely. Anubis took me surprise. Like I said about Plopsa, I was like, wow, this is
Anubis is so good.
Yeah.
I love Anubis.
This is what I want to come on to. So the hell is it called? Flocked von Novgorod.
Von Novgorod, yeah.
Von Novgorod. That thing is, you can kind of tell they built that and then went, this works pretty well. Let's build it bigger, and then built Conan. Like, you can tell literally their thought process.
That's cool though, because I mean, you got that step up, so that's good.
It's pretty crazy, that ride is, because again, like, massively highly themed. I didn't really get the storyline because, again, like, German. I'm going to learn German, and I need to learn more German.
There are a few things you need to learn in German, yeah, for sure. Parks.
Yeah, but when you go through, like, even like the outdoor queue to that, when you're walking down, there's just like all these scarecrows, like, just around. And they're like animatronics, like the heads, like they're just scarecrows. They look like the crows from Thorpe Park, like they're proper evil faces. And then, like, you're like, oh, I was filming him, and it just went like that. Like, looked at me, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh man, it was so scary. But it's something about, it's meant to be like a curse of like scarecrows or something. That's what this whole thing is about, and like, it's proper dark theming. A lot of these rides are all.
It's the origin story of the crows from Thorpe Park.
I think it is, literally. But you go into like this, like the indoor queue line, and it's like so many amazing. I put a.
I'm gonna see what these names translate to. Google.
This is called Escape from Novgorod, and Kanon is.
Oh, is that what it is?
Kanon
is Oath of Kanon, isn't it?
Yeah, Oath of Kanon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so when you're going through the queue line of Novgorod. Like, it's just loads of like cool little effects, like the chandeliers, and it just like they just move by themselves, and like loads of little like paranormal stuff kicking off, and it's crazy, and like it's really tight queues as well, so it feels like you're in like an actual like little castle type thing. It has a full-on first, like Saw, you're like, oh, it's so cool that like this has full-on animatronics dark ride section at the start of it. You hit that launch, you go out, and you come back in. And then you have like even bigger like indoor. Like, I didn't realize that thing is like half dark, like indoor coaster. Like, it's you see it from the outside, and you're like, oh, it looks like a kind of Anubis type thing. Looks kind of small. It's way bigger than you think it is. It's, and at the end when you get off, you like the end queue, like when you go in on the exit, there's a fucking maze inside it. Like, you get lost inside this maze. Like, it's. Oh, man,
what in the exit?
In the exit. So like, yeah, you're like, you think it's all over, and then you suddenly you're stuck in this maze trying to find each other. Like, it's so mental. Like, it's not a scare maze or anything. It's just an actual maze. Like, you know, just different ways to go. You don't know where to get out. So things like that, like 100%. Like,
so I remember, yeah, Mark Yates is in the chat. I remember when him and Scott went over to Hansa Park, and I would have loved to have seen his reaction to like stuff in the queue lines or like in the mazes and stuff, and like anticipating scare actors in the mazes and shit. That'd have been funny as shit. Mark Yates, what did you think of Flucht von Novgorod when you were out there?
The launch isn't as powerful as Anubis. That thing like blows your head off.
Is it not?
But it's still significant enough. No,
really?
I didn't find it as no, I didn't find it as intense.
I had heard that Novgorod's launch was one of the strongest LSM launches in Europe, in the world, in Europe. I'm not sure.
I've done both recently, and I would say, unless I got it off an off day, I'd say Anubis is way stronger, man.
Anubis' launch is silly, to be fair.
It shoots you back, and it shoots your head back. That's what I was saying to Joe. I was like, because I was going through this like section, dark ride section, and I was like, Joe, just brace yourself. You don't know when it's coming. Like, I don't want another Anubis where I just was like not expecting it just to like jolt me back. But yeah, that was good. Yeah, that park is one of the best parks I've been to. Like, one of the best parks I've been to. Like, the whole feeling of it, it's just lovely. And like I say, like, they've got some like even Misgarad, which is like the junior Gerstlauer, that's got a dark ride section in it. Like, that's more like a mine train. You go under like a waterfall and stuff. Like, That's incredible. You've got Rattlesnake.
I like the commitment to dark ride sections on
Rattlesnake.
posters.
Yeah, mate. Like Rattlesnake clone.
There needs to be more of that, Mikhail, in this country.
Yeah,
that's what we're missing.
Anywhere, man. Like I've not like.
Yeah, but we need it here so we can actually.
Yeah, we do. But like I've done, I think a good selection of parks that do dark rides and coasters, and like even like I think like Baron looked at Hansa, and when Efteling built Baron, I think they looked at Hansa and went like, we need to do this with Baron.
Yeah.
And even though Baron's like amazing, like I just don't think, and I love it. I love that whole ride and experience.
Did Efteling open Baron after Hansa's coasters or before?
It definitely opened. Baron definitely opened later than Novgorod. I'm not sure about. I
feel like
2015 was Karnan. I think.
Yeah.
I feel like Baron is a little bit after that. I might be completely wrong. But anyway, moving on. Highlander's great, by the way, really good. Not forceful drop, but it's got onboard audio. Played like bagpipes as you're going up. It was actually really relaxing. And the view up there is like the sea. Like it's just pure. I didn't realize how close it was to the sea. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's right. Well, I mean, the parks. Well, I mean, both of them are right up in northern Germany, aren't they?
Yeah, but I'm rubbish at geography. I just go sat nav to take me there from an airport. There we are.
To an extent,
So we stayed in just outside of Hamburg, so it was good because we found this hostel. So we had a private room in this hostel. You think hostel, you think, oh god, I don't know, but it was £45 a night. And it's a private room, private ensuite, lovely place in the middle of this like just tiny little like village, and it was so chill there. Really, really nice. But £45 a night, that's for both of us. Like you can't moan at that. And there's two single beds in there. So if you go with a mate, you're paying like it's nothing. But that meant it was 1 hour from Hansa, and then the next day we traveled about the same to Hyder, so right in the middle, which is perfect.
Mark said hands down best Eurofighter, by the way, for I assume Novgorod.
Yeah, best one I've done, definitely. Those were two of the best Gerslauers I've done, hands down. Infinity Coaster and
hands down.
Hands are down.
Hands Park. Question about Karnan, actually, since it's it's an Infinity with lap bars instead of OTSRs like Smiler. What did you think of that? What did you think of that experience?
I totally forgot to even mention this, but like it felt like clamshells. Like that's how they feel. Like it's so freeing. Like it's the same like shape as like a clamshell. It's just I don't ever want to do it over the head restraint now on a Gerslauer. I'm like,
my guy's never riding Smiler again.
Maybe that's why it was so smooth.
Yeah, it probably is. That probably. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not smooth. It's a Gerslauer. Right. Let's be honest. It's smooth. It's smooth on the middle seats.
They age badly.
Yeah, it's smoother on the inside seats definitely than the outside. And the further back you go, well, it's not even the further back actually. It's just like sitting on the back of each train. You sit on the front of any train is better. But because it's not overhead, it's like it's fine. It just feels like a bit like, especially at the end of the day, but it just feels like pure intenseness. It doesn't feel like uncomfortable. Like Smiler and Saw can sometimes. But also just the nature of the layout, how it's not just like focusing on laps and stuff all the time. It's very like it's very graceful in terms of layout, which is very different for a Gerslauer. For me anyway.
Because Gerslauers are known really for the compact layouts and the quick inversions and the whipping and out of turns and stuff like.
And I feel like why haven't they gone? They need to go down more this route personally. For me. But so anyway, I need to move on because we're already on 25 past. So Hyder Park, obviously was a big one for us. I'll quickly go through this. really lovely park. It still feels very Merlin. I said on Twitter, it feels like Alton Towers, Chessington, and Thorpe all put together. It's a lovely park, though. It needs a little bit of like, it needs a bit of TLC in some parts. That's what I'll say. It's like there's parts of it that's stunning, and there's parts of it where you're just like, but I think that's unfortunate circumstance of what happened to Colossus personally. Obviously, if you know, they completely retracked that whole coaster. It cost like 12 million euro.
And there is a documentary on that as well. So if you guys haven't seen that, check that out. It's amazing.
But yeah, Colossus was like high on my bucket list. And it didn't disappoint at all, man. Like that thing is so good. It's so different. It was my first Intamin prefab I've ever done. And it was the first ever prefab. But it's so hard to explain, man. Like it's what I thought it was going to be, but then to do it, like, it's just so bizarre. Like, it's so smooth, but it still feels like a wooden coaster. It's not like doing like an RMC. It's like it's still got the qualities of a wooden coaster.
Still drifts and all that kind
of. It still feels like a wooden coaster. And the only thing I'd say about it is the second half does suffer a little bit with the speed.
It does look like it bleeds a lot of speed.
Yeah, and it's got a flipping trim before the helix, so it's it's so unnecessary.
To clear the blocks though, innit? Because it's a long out.
Well, there's doing it on one ops most of the day.
Fair. Documentary. That's a good question.
In the afternoon, they put it on 2 trains, and then when we queued up for it, they took one off on a 60-minute queue. But then 10 minutes later, they did it back. So I don't know.
Yeah, I remember you saying that on Twitter. I was going to ask you what that was all about.
So that was just really bizarre. But I was like in that mood where something that they did at the start of the day, which is really silly, is people were getting on the train. We did it first. There's people getting on the trains. And then like kids were riding it, and then kids were getting out the seat, and they'd taken kids out of the seats and then measuring them on the station platform, and then giving them wristbands. So it literally was like 6-minute dispatches at the start of the day, because all these kids were like getting these wristbands, obviously to say you've been measured now. I'm like, why are you doing that like in the station? So that was a bit weird. And by the way, all the operations in that park on the coasters were brilliant. It was just Colossus was weird, and I worked out why it was so slow. And it was the flipping belt restraints on them trains are the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. Have you seen what the belts are? It's like because they put new.
I'll let you explain it.
They've put new trains on it when they did the retrack, so they're the same as like El Toro. I don't know what they're called, if they've got a name, but they're the same as El Toro's trains for sure. But they've got this belt restraint thing that you have to it comes through the side of the carriage, the side, but you have to pull it to actually feed it through, and then when you belt up, you then have to pull it out the side. And there was a video showing it, but obviously, people don't watch videos, so I knew what I was doing.
Shockwave.
But then, everyone in the station were they didn't know what to do. So basically, the ride hosts were having to show everyone how to do it, and that was happening all day. So I felt quite sorry for the people there. I'm like, the belt is redundant anyway. Why did you put in this silly system? So that was slowing everything down. Anyway,
if I remember correctly, El Toro has seatbelts on them as well. I don't know if they're as finicky as those ones on Colossus, but
why Intamin decided to do that on them, I don't know, but it makes it suffer. The throughput suffers massively. But anyway,
I wonder if Boulder has them on them.
Amazing coaster, really good. More to come in my vlog. Loved it.
Quick question.
Did I say Boulder? No, I said Colossus. Sorry. No. Go on.
Quick question before the first drop and the second drop. How floaty are they?
The first drop, mate. Honestly, your ass is out of that seat the whole way down. Great. It's incredible. The second drop is kind of just slow. But it's good. But that's as soon as you hit that bottom, that's where the speed peters out a little bit.
Yeah.
and I can see why people think it's better at the front, because you get when you get pushed into them like camelbacks, like you are like getting slammed into them.
For sure.
It feels faster at the back, and I would rather have that fastness, the pace at the back rather than just like having the front like ejector for the first spot.
The only reason I asked that is because I made a coaster pretty much well and truly inspired by it in No Limits 2 after I watched that documentary. Same turnaround, same lift hill, same drop, same second drop. And I was looking at the floatiness of it, and it was just ridiculous, the amount of negative Gs, all the way from literally the crest to going over, because it's a very parabolic B&M kind of hypercoaster shaped camelback, isn't it? It's very well done, very well profiled. I just wanted to know how floaty it felt, like especially with the speed you're going at.
Yeah, it's insane. It's ridiculous. And the pyrotechnics on the flipping I don't know, Big Bob too. I don't know what you call him. Like they're powerful. No, actually, Colossus is not the person, not the monster. Colossus
I know what it's called as well. I just can't remember, because it's on items. I can't.
Colossus is like the name of the train that you're in.
Does it actually feel like the track's broken in front of you? Or
mate. Like it doesn't. It's weird because you come over it when you're at the front. It does, like you come over that speed hill
and you drop down.
You see it like in line with you, so it really messes with your head. But then like I didn't expect the head chopper. Like you go like that. You're like, like it's so crazy. Like I
get that sometimes on Wicker Man. I forget because I'm like hands up all the way from the release of the chain lift. And then when you go through Bob the first time on that turn, you forget like it actually bends down to pull up.
Yeah.
So you can't put your hands up and you kind of go,
oh, right.
Yeah.
I was thinking, where on Wicker Man did you do a fake track? What you're about? But
no, the head chopper when you're going through.
The head choppers you go through Bob.
The first one.
But it's just it's crazy. It's
you go Bob.
It does make me laugh though, because the way that structure is, it does feel like you're being eaten and pooped out. Because like you're coming out of the back. So every time I was filming it off ride, I was like, I'm just imagining like it's just being like
just shitting out riders,
shitting out the trains. But yeah, really good. Crate was good.
The designer was ill when they made it, and they thought, we can use this as an attraction.
Exactly. But yeah, Crate was good. The B&M dive coaster, like
nice.
Just dropping into the ship is like a really cool element. Like that ship is that pirate ship you go into with the crack.
That shipwreck theming looks really good.
And it's just such a good ride to look off ride as well, because of like the splash, like the fins like hitting the water, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just cool. You could watch that so long because it just,
I can't wait to see that in slow-mo on your camera.
yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, good.
But it's just, I can't wait to watch it in slow-mo because it's just so mesmerizing to see, because it's like, it's perfect. It's like, as it's going up the Immelman, like it just misses it like so finely.
The mist is still there, isn't it, as it breaks through? Yeah.
But like if the path right next to it, oh my god, that gets absolutely soaked like all day. It's just like a freaking waterfall going on that path. And the amount of people who get like splashed and not realizing because they're on the phone or walking along, and then it's just like that's a great one, because there's a burger kitchen right next to it, so you can just sit there and watch people like walking past. Brilliant. It's so great.
That reminds me of like some of my friends went to Wallaby, Belgium a couple of months ago, and one of them took a video. It's gone viral. It has like 50,000 views just randomly on YouTube. Like he took a video of like Pulsar's full ride cycle. And he didn't realize how far the splash comes.
Yeah.
So he's literally filming it, and the splash is just coming at him, and it just absolutely fucks him over. And he's just like, ah!
Yeah, that could easily that's another one, Pulsar. If you're in the wrong spot for that, Jesus. There's a few heart-stopping moments.
It's not too bad on ride.
No, it's not. It's
fucking hilarious.
You don't get that wet on it. Yeah,
it goes away.
It comes out. But yeah, that was really good. You can tell John Wardley had his hand in that, because, like I say, it's like a spectacle to watch off ride. It's so good.
Yeah.
And Flug the Damanin, Demonin, Flight of the Demon.
Demonin. Yeah.
Demonin.
Denon.
Demonin.
I killed Mikhail. One of the biggest things for that I'm looking forward to is hearing that soundtrack with that setting. That is a nice soundtrack.
It's what I'm sorry, Luke, but it's what the Swarm could have been, mate. Yeah. Like it's flipping. It's so good. Like that coaster is so good.
So Hyder Park is a bucket list park for me because it's not out of reach. It's not too expensive to get to, and it's got some really, really nice attractions that I just want to. Everything at that park is mainly IMA score as well, and for me, a massive music fan of theme park industry. That is like a place I could just literally go and sit in.
Yeah,
like. The amount of times.
Like what really annoyed me about Flight of the Demon though was like I couldn't get a good shot of that demonic knot. Like it's so hard to capture, and that is such a good element, and it's so perfect for a wing coaster because it just like the whole coaster just feels big. Like when you're on it, like it's just so big, and it's just. Yeah, like
it's like the Swarm feels big, but it's not got like an enclosure. You don't go through many things like this.
It's
is
so
like
much, and it's like when you go through them tunnels as well. Like at the start, when you go down that, the airtime and the fact that in the tunnels they've got like sound effects of like flying, so it's like you go, and as you're going through it, it feels like so like insane. It's just great. Like it's such a good coaster. It was Joe's 150th cred.
Nice.
She was like, she planned that, and she really wanted that as
that's sick
as a 150th cred. And it was just great coaster, great theming. I'm glad that it wasn't that busy. It was only like 25-minute queue because the cattle pen in there is disgusting. Like we had to walk through it, and I'm like, this is horrible, really bad. But it's just really nicely themed, going through loads of little buildings and stuff, and the theming is great. Scream is one of the best drop towers I've done.
Just a question about Flug de Demona. Do the vest restraints lock in place? Like, do they come further down as like after dispatch? Like,
I didn't notice that.
I
didn't notice it, but
I've never noticed that on a vest restraint. Never. Ever.
Yeah, I've never noticed it.
I noticed it last September.
That's a thing. I feel like if Swarm does it, then this must do it because
same time.
Yeah,
roughly the same time. Same.
But I've never experienced that with the Swarm either. I never consciously
I've
notice it, but
I just ask because to my knowledge, like Swarm of the wing coasters that I've done, Swarm is the only one where the vest restraints like they lock in place and then they like lock further and further down as like after dispatch and like as you go through the ride. Like they're not breathable in the sense that they don't expand after dispatch. Whereas on like Thunderbird and Gatekeeper and Wild Eagle, like
much later generations though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dolly would actually fix the ones on Wild Eagle. They used to lock, but Wild Eagles used to lock, and Dolly would fix them. So,
but
I was wondering if
I love how it's like I'm gonna fly through this, and it's already 40 minutes into the episode.
Come on, dude. You knew
you
this.
Stop asking so many questions, guys.
I'm interested in that park more than Hamza, if I'm honest with you, like because it's a Merlin park, and I've always meant to get out there. You know,
it's good. It's. I'm so glad I've done it because it is such a. It's weird because it feels like a new park, but it just feels really familiar.
2014, really so it's 2 years older than the Swarm. So it's
because that's because I knew it was like very quick because like Swarm was going to have its own trains, weren't it, originally, and then they ran out of budget, so they ended up just having Demons trains. So I knew it was like pretty close. But yeah, great. The bobsled coaster, really good. Like it's flipping long as hell.
That's iconic, that ride.
It's so good. Like honestly, I loved that. That was so, and it's good to see a bobsled that's not like themed to an alpine. It's themed to a vampire. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And yeah, because it's on a hill at the top. It's like you go so far down to the fact that you then have to get a lift hill back up to the station, which was really interesting. But yeah, so powerful that one was. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Big Loop was closed, which was so sad. Because if you didn't know, it has corkscrew from Alton Towers trains run on it. So I was really looking forward to sitting in corkscrew trains.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So it still uses. Yeah, it changed over when they got when they got rid of corkscrew. The trains went over there. So I was like, oh, I get to again, because I was so young when I did corkscrew. I was like, I can't wait to like sit in corkscrew's trains again. And yeah, it was down all day. So missed that one.
Was Limit horrendous or
I'll be honest, we fucked it off. Like I will always
you not even ride it.
No. I was putting it off all day. Like honest, like I love getting creds. Don't get me wrong.
So
right? And I'll always try out an SLC when I see it. I saw this thing, mate. Like we were like, it's towards the end of the day, and I was like, let's go get Limit. It's only on a 10-minute queue, and then we were like running out of time anyway. And so he was like, went up to it, and I watched it. I was filming it, mate. I've never seen people shake like that. Like they look like fucking bowling pins. Like. They was going like this all the way around, like it looked horrific, and I was like, "Wow, we've got to kind of get the cred." And then I was like, "But we could just go do Flog the Damon again." And I was like,
yeah.
"You know what?
Yeah,
I'll forsake this cred. I'm just gonna go." You know what I mean? So
it'll still be here. It's an SLC. They last forever. I'll be back.
I was like, it was just
they're like cockroaches. They just don't die.
Literally,
I would have done it, but I would have done it. But when I saw what that was doing to the people on it, I was like, it's giving me Conda vibes again. I remember what Conda was like at Wallaby Holland, and like the headache I had after that. I was kind of like, it's not worth it. I was like, not when we can just go and get a re-ride on the wing coaster. So
yeah, that's a big brain move for sure.
Yeah, so we just went, nah, fuck it. We did that instead.
Pretty much sounds like me when I go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Infusion looks great. No.
Yeah. But yeah, so we ended up getting 3 rides on Colossus, nice. And then two rides on Flug, and then one on Nifina.
I got a headache just seeing them rattling about.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It looked horrendous. But like they've got some like really like the mine train there, like the Mac Powered coaster is like on the level with Towers with mine running around mine trains. It's so good. Like nice. so good.
Nice.
Get 2 laps on there, really nicely themed.
2 lap special.
2 lap special on that. Really, really cool. The How to Train Your Dragon area, they've got How to Train Your Dragon area, and that was so nicely themed. Like that was so nicely done. Like we didn't get on much there, but they've got like a Merlin Quest type ride, like a boat ride. We looked really nice, and some flat rides around there. And I love them films, so it's just nice seeing like Toothless there and stuff. I was like, that's cool. Peppa Pig Land, that was weird seeing in a Merlin Park. That was really small, really small little land. Oh, Desert Race. Yeah, nearly forgot. Yeah, it's better than Rita.
Of course it is.
Definitely better than Rita.
Longer. The break run's not as long as the ride.
Definitely only remembered because I've just opened up Google Maps and saw it on Google Maps.
I totally forgot about it. The best thing about that ride, though, is the op booth is in a flipping helicopter. Like, like
that's cool.
I remember hearing about that and then when I was on there, I was like, oh my God. He's in a helicopter up there. What the hell?
Is the brake run less brutal?
Yeah. Oh no, that's literally what I mean. Like when we got to the brake run, it's so gentle.
Yeah.
And me and Joe were just like, what? I was like,
why
that
is
was so nice.
Yeah.
Like when we come off it, we weren't just like, oh, that was just it was just like, oh, the brake was so nice and that. Like the brakes were lovely. It's so funny. Like there's some coasters I'm like that on, like Formula at Energylandia. I was like, oh, that's a nice brake.
Yeah, so there gentle. Are some that are like that. Icons is quite nice as well, actually. That's
there's quite a lot of ones, but I think sometimes when you're going at a really fast speed, you just anticipate like even just like a little like even if it's just like a little like that, but it's when it's like a really gentle stop. It's like it's weird, but it was good. The launch doesn't seem as intense as Rita's though.
Right.
It didn't give me that like slap in the face that Rita gives me.
It does slap. Rita does slap. I mean, it only goes like 60, but it's fast to 60, you know.
And this is on paper. This is a little bit slower than Rita.
Right.
Oh, actually, no. Maybe no. It's fat. No, it's a little bit faster. Sorry, on paper, but it's a little bit slightly longer, but not as tall.
Not quite as strong of an acceleration.
That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Brakes on a scale of Icon and to big one. Big one's pretty brutal.
yeah. No. So great park. Trying to think what else have I missed out. We did do this like a little kiddie cred, 2 kiddie creds.
Overall, like what would you say about just that? Like, I know you mentioned that there was some parts of the park that just that looked like they just needed some cleaning up and some TLC and stuff, but just like I just think like overall, just a bit of like care,
just a bit of TLC. Like there's some parts of the park that are absolutely gorgeous, and you can tell we're done like when it was.
That's what I'm about to say. Like I feel like a lot of the park is just very nicely presented.
Yeah, definitely. And the bit where the Transylvania area where Flug the Demon is, and like Scream, and Bobbin is. Like that feels like Chessington's Transylvania area. Well, it's not Transylvania now, but it's so weird. It feels like you're there in Chessington. It's really strange. But it's really nicely done. But then you've just got some areas where you're just like, this just needs a bit of TLC. There's just like weird gaps in the park as well. Like there's like a kind of an Aztec-y area that's between where Colossus is and where Big Loop is. Yeah. And that had
maybe
it's just like it used to be an area with loads of flat rides in there, and they've all gone now. But there's some toilets in there and a wave swinger, and the wave swinger wasn't on, so it's like this whole area that has nothing in it except for toilets. So I'm thinking, is that earmarked for like future development? But that area there, it's got to be. But that area there just feels very dead. So there's like quite a long walk of like, it's still got like a nice lake there, the nice lake there and stuff. It's still like a really nice place, but that bit just like lacked some atmosphere, and it just felt like really out the way.
This does just sound like a proper Merlin park.
Legit.
It's just a random area in between two good areas that has nothing in it but legit, toilet block, and just like it's a long walk through.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
a lot of parks in Europe have that though. A lot of parks in Europe have that.
Yeah, I think it's one of them where like the money, I think for Merlin, it's like you got to remember like Merlin were like not doing well like before the pandemic, even before the pandemic when they were like public and stuff, like because they've gone private now. This is where you're seeing like investments coming in now. This is where you're seeing like massive improvements in like the events they're putting on. They're putting money in just to put the baggage holds open. Like I think, and like I say, I think this was a big shame for them in terms of what happened to Colossus. It's good because it's a great coaster. I'm glad they saved it, but they've literally had to like retrack an entire ride. And you know what they could have done with that money was like would be spend it around the park. So I think they're just like on the back foot, because you got to remember as well, 2019 that opened and then the pandemic hit. So like it's just a bit of an unfortunate event for them, I think. So I think it's got they've got a solid lineup already. They're just missing a few things, I think.
Yeah. I wonder if
it'd be interesting to know where they are planning to expand, if they have any plans to, if Merlin have any plans to expand this park, because I'm looking at this whole area in Colossus's infield, like next to Desert Race, and wondering what they could do there. And
that place is in the middle of nowhere. When you're at the top of like these coasters,
a Merlin park in the middle of nowhere.
Honestly, like when
Like
you
it's
when
done
you
on
but the
purpose.
thing is, they're in the middle of nowhere, but they obviously have no like they don't have the height limit like Towers has.
Yeah, for sure.
So it feels like that's why I think it's got that Alton Towers thing to it, because they've got like some history there. They've got like an old chapel that was like the reason that park exists at the start of the park. There's really good history there. But when you're at the top of these coasters, honestly, it's flat, but as far as your eye can see, it's just tree. It's just forest. Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy how.
Also, I've just realized on Google Maps, like the photo they've taken of just like that includes Colossus is right when Colossus was getting retracked. Like you can see all the like you can see all the wooden platforms like on the hills of where they're doing the retracking and stuff, and like the skeleton of the.
I hate when you type in Hyder Park and it comes up Hyde Park
structure
in London.
It was funny being there. It was funny being there as well, because they've got like all the events on that our parks have got on that minute. So they got like Carnival, Oktoberfest, Halloween, but they have a Pride event as well, which I think is like really cool. That's like because the Pride event is like going on for an entire like month or something. It's like we got there just between
Pride month now, isn't it? So
but it's not started just yet. It's starting soon. But yeah, there's entertainment around the park. There's like people on scooters with like speakers blasting music out, like some really cool like just entertainment, like pirates doing balloon animals for the kids and stuff. It just had a really nice atmosphere to it. Yeah, I really liked it. But yeah, there we go.
That's mad, you know. Like I literally just had a look at the Google Maps, Mikhail, and you can see literally like builders on the drop.
Like, literally, it's in the process of getting retracked right there.
Yeah, you can see the track like being made. You can see the sawmill that they made and everything. Like it's all there.
Roller Bars and Coaster Dad said, "Do they need a new Intamin?"
I think they do.
Yeah, I think they do.
Seeing as
I feel like
every fucker's getting one apparently.
Yeah, legit. Everyone. Can we have one?
I feel like it's a bit like. I feel like it's a bit like Towers. How like Desert Race should have been like, if there's going to clone one of the Intamins, it should have been Stealth. Do you know what I mean? Like if they had Stealth, like that part would have been more complete. But
here's a question for you.
Yeah,
what was the queue like for Desert Race?
Hardly anything. Like all the queues around the park were like 10 to 25 minutes all day
on a quiet day,
except for Colossus, which was on 60 minutes.
Okay, so Colossus is literally Wicker Man.
It's yeah, but like the queue's not good, so it's not like
with you.
It's a massive cattle pen again, so it's not great.
I just think like you've got. I just feel like with Rita at Towers, right? You've got no choice. If you go into the Dark Forest, you literally have to go to a cul-de-sac to ride coasters, and once you get there, there's nothing there. You know,
they need something new in that area for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's why it gets a queue, because people get off the sky ride, they take the walk down Dark Forest through here, big theme area. Well, it should be a big theme area. You walk in, and then legit,
it's like a trap, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a coaster trap. That's what it is. It's Intamin Corner. That's what I call it.
It's like you get there, people get there, especially if you don't know. Yeah, if you don't know the park very well.
Yeah.
You get there, you're like, well, we're here now. I'm not doing that walk again, so let's just go.
Yeah, it's all uphill. Like, no way.
That's literally how. That's why Rita gets so much. But I don't know. Rita is a big crowd pleaser at the end of the day.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I might check out. Is there an app for Hyder Park?
Yeah, download it. Like, it's just
I'm gonna check out a weekend like how busy Desert Race gets, because if that pulls a queue as well, then you know,
it's definitely popular.
It's
definitely popular
layout, isn't it? I think it's because it's not too extreme, it's not too high, so people feel like, oh, I can do this as my first launch coaster kind of thing.
But launch coasters in a park full of lift hills are always a big pull, because they just seem different. You know, same as Alton Towers, like it's the only launch coaster, so it just seems
that's why
different.
I like 13, because it's the only coaster at Towers with a standard drop.
Yeah. No, exactly what you mean.
No turnaround, just whoop,
it feels good.
Oblivion isn't a standard drop; it's a vertical drop.
I was thinking.
Roller Bars and Coaster said it was Fetish Week in Cologne last week. There were people leading each other around on leashes all day. I hope not in a theme park. That would be weird.
Right, okay.
Now I know.
But yeah, like, yeah, it's great. And I think that trip, the reason, not the Fetish Week. The Fetish Week's great, you know. Don't kink shame on this podcast.
Is
like,
what it
never
is.
Kink shame.
We do not kink shame on this podcast.
And so yeah, I was going to say about Hyder Park. So I think it's Hyder Park and Hansa Park. That the reason we chose to do this trip was it's an easy trip to do. You're getting 2 parks in. We just saw Hansa as like a kind of bolt on, and I've got to say, like, even though I did some amazing coasters at Heidi, really liked it. Like Hansa also stand out to me, and that seems to be
much better.
That seems to, even though like on paper, like there's more like bucket list rides for me at Hyder that I wanted to do, and I was more excited about it going into this trip. And that seems like the overriding thing. Like everyone who's commenting on my tweets when I was there was going, "Yeah, we did Hansa as a bolt on to Hyder, and it just blew us away." Like it's one of them parks that you like vlogs don't do it justice. Hopefully my vlog does it justice. I've got some like I'm really looking forward to getting that out because I got some really nice shots. The sun come out really nice for that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But yeah, it's a great park.
Is
it's got
like a park where you feel like you needed a second day?
We definitely needed. I didn't feel like we needed a second day at Hyder, even though we didn't get on some of like the log flumes and stuff like that. I felt like we did enough there. But Hansa, I definitely could have done with a second day because they've got some like cool little flat rides. They've got like it's a bit like it's like a park of like, even though it's not 2 halves, it's got like there's just so much to do at Hansa. Like there's like high, you know, like at a lot of European parks, you get like all these like rope bridges and stuff and like slides everywhere. And you've got like loads of water rides, you've got rapids, you've got kind of a what they called, you know, like at Oakwood they've got, what's it called, you know, when you go down on like a little dinner tray, they've got like them type of like water little rides.
Toboggan.
Oh,
no,
like what's it called? Like waterfall.
The waterfall, yeah, waterfall. They've got like one of them.
Yeah.
Like little rides, like there's just like random little rides like that, and you could have so much fun there. Like I'd love to have done a second day at Hansa. I definitely could have done a second.
I wonder who do you know who owns Hansa Park?
No idea. No idea. Don't know if it's independently owned or whatever. Anyway,
be interesting to know.
We need to get on to news, mate, because we're an hour into the podcast. So,
mate, you can't tell me you didn't expect us to get into real in-depth conversation about.
I wish, I'm happy to talk about it. I just don't know if it's boring to everyone watching, like just me, like doing a trip report.
No, man, everyone wants to fuck off to Germany now.
I just want to apologize quickly while I've got internet. My net is bad, so just like
it's all right. We can still hear you. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a bit choppy, but we can still hear you. So the first thing I want to head off this news with, which I didn't run past you guys, but it just I just thought it just made me laugh really, is that Kanye West has is looking to go into the theme park business, guys.
I heard about this as well.
So Kanye West has filed 17 new trademark applications around his Yeezus name. The filings indicate an intent to launch Yeezus branded amusement parks, NFTs, toys, and more. And a spokesman person for him said they want to go for theme parks, man.
London Resort is going to happen.
This just was so funny to me. Like, could you imagine if it happens though? Like, could you imagine if it happens? Like, we need some. If you can think of some good puns on Kanye West's coaster names, I want to see I want to see a dive drop into a fucking Yeezy. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to see.
Quietly pulls up Spotify.
But
please don't play any of it.
I just think
not for copyright. Just don't play any of it.
I know one person no matter where this park ends up being, like if it ends up being a thing, no matter where this park is located in the world, I know one person who is a buzzed bars member who will be the first one through the gates.
Fair. It might not be gates. It might be shoelaces. You know,
might be.
You just enter through a massive Yeezy shoe.
Yeah, legit.
I mean, this might be unpopular
Shout
opinion,
out to Kyrie.
Right? This might be an unpopular opinion. Like, I know Kanye is mad, but he's also a bit of a genius. I personally think, anyway, I quite like his music. I know not everyone does, but I think
I like his early music.
I even think some of his I like how experimental he's gone, and I feel like if he did, I'm not a fan of his clothing. I think it looks absolutely ridiculous. Even Yeezys just look so stupid to me. Sorry if Bobby Healy ever listens to this. Sorry, mate. But yeah,
I will give it to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy as well. That's
an incredible album.
I love that. Album.
But like, I just think, like, if he made a theme park, it could be pretty sick.
Does he know the difference between a Pimfire and a B&M though? Like, I'm kind of concerned in that kind of manner.
Like, if you look at his visuals he does in his music videos and stuff, like, it would be a proper
his production
dark
crew.
Like, the thematic ideas he could pull out for some dark rides. Could you imagine a dark ride in that place?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
it'd be bonkers.
It'd be animated.
However, I don't also want to go on record saying, like, I don't what's been going on with him and and Kim, like, it's been a bit crazy and creepy. I will say that he's just a bit weird.
I don't have a clue what's going on.
No, it's just a bit scary.
I know.
It's very scary shit. He's a bit weird, but we know that about Kanye. But anyway, on proper coaster news.
Coaster news.
Parque Warner Madrid.
It's not a turn I thought any episode of this podcast would be.
No, I never.
It's impressive. It's impressive. I got to give you that one.
Yeah, I thought I'd get that one out of my sleeve. But yeah, so Parque Warner Madrid, we talked about this the other week. Their Intamin launch coaster track is now on the site.
Indeed.
And it looks very similar, doesn't it? It's very, very similar.
It looks very much like Intamin needs to stop making all black rides.
But yeah, like, this is, to be fair, guys, this is all I know is that there's Intamin track. I don't know if there's been any more developments. I know that video that you sent me, Mikhail, showed like they're well underway with like building the entrance and stuff. Like, this thing seems like full throttle now, like it's going at like a breakneck speed.
I mean, like, from when a park starts receiving track, like, it's full steam ahead, right? They're ready.
Palm trees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My apologies. Yes.
Yeah.
When they start receiving more foliage.
This is an Intamin Chero stand again. So
in that video you sent me, Carl, like the guy, that Spanish guy who's going around the park, and there's like a.
I know it's all in Spanish and shit.
I put the captions up.
Sure, it is.
I put the you can get the auto translate up, and it does a good job. And he was just like, so a Yum Yum stand has recently appeared. But behind this is the construction. I was like, God, they need to go with the Yum Yum stand. Like, that part needs to start going with the churro stand.
You saw how well it worked with Universal.
Yeah, exactly. They need to get
that'll work wonders in the Spanish community. I don't know about us, but the Spanish community will love that shit. Anyway, just in terms of like the rumors of what this thing could turn out to be, what I've heard / being told is most of the rumors are 3 launches, a 50-meter top hat. Now, I don't know how much that is in feet. I work in feet. When it comes to heights of roller coasters, I work in feet.
It's just weird, isn't it? Like, it's weird how
it's 164.042. 164.042 feet.
Oh, okay. So a similar height to toutatis then.
Toutatis.
So 3 launches, 164-foot top hat, an inverted stall over the midway, and some form of spike. This is what I found interesting.
Yeah.
Some form of spike that acts as a swing brake section. So not a swing launch, like Toutatis or Pantheon, but a swing brake. More so, like, if anybody knows, no, not even that. Like, if anybody knows Fury at Bobby Yarn Land, that has like like it hits the brakes, it gets up a spike and then comes backwards or forwards depending on.
Yes, no, yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, I've seen it. Goes through the station, goes up, and then comes back down slowly on a transport system. Yeah, I thought that was just broken when I saw that POV. I was like, why did it stop? Like, what's going on? Nope, this is the thing. Yeah,
that's
right.
That's how it
I'll be back a sec. I've just got to get a pot of t-shirt on because I'm so hot in this room.
All right, so Kyle, if my internet drops, you've got to talk on your own. You've got to lead. You've got to lead the
Oh,
thing.
dude, bro, this motherfucker left me by myself to just talk about Wolverine, Wildcat, and Predator getting GCI Titan retrack last time. Don't leave me again.
No,
I'll start talking shit about you guys behind your back. No,
I mean, do it. It's entertainment at the end of the day.
No, but yeah.
So what are we thinking? Are we thinking like, you know, Pantheon level Intamin?
It's kind of hard
toutatis?
to like somewhere in between Pantheon and toutatis. I feel like Intamin have found like a sort of just an avenue to just go down with these launch coasters and just like ways to just and just ways to experiment with the type of experience they can deliver on them, and like you maybe switch up things about it to make them like have like unique characteristics. Obviously, like you guys know Velocicoaster is my favorite roller coaster.
So just on Velocicoaster quickly, while it's fresh, Mikhail, I'm thinking when Velocicoaster was built, if you've watched the documentary, which they did, it showed so many layouts before it actually showed the one that they chose. Yeah. I'm starting to think, did Universal pay for all these layouts to be made, and now they're just being sold off to other?
Oh, right.
I mean, they've got the money to do that. Potentially, but like coasters, like coaster proposals from the chosen manufacturer, like the chosen manufacturer will make, you know, like several layouts for the park to choose, several refinements of certain layouts, without going into too much detail. Taron went through a bunch of different layouts. Tiger went through a good few different layouts. I don't want to it's a thing that it's a sort of collaborative kind of deal between the manufacturer and the only reason Velocicoaster went through several layouts. This probably will have gone through several layouts before.
Yeah, but Velocicoaster, one of the layouts, two of the layouts had spikes, and in the last 2 years or year and a half, there has been 2 new coasters with spikes. You know, there's been coasters with stalls. There's been coasters with multiple launches. I just feel like they came up with this revolutionary engineering genesis of this new Intamin model, and I think like the amount of ideas that they would have had in collaboration, they literally could have just built models out of this one project they had.
Well, the thing is, you think of the creativity of the design team and the layout designers at a manufacturer like Intamin. Like, don't forget before all of these, Soaring with Dragon was probably the first Intamin with that swing launch motion, like that triple launch sort of forward, backwards, forward kind of motion. And then you have like Dueling Dragons, like that dueling coaster with both of those have swing launches as well. Yeah. Like this is a thing that evidently Intamin has been working on for a lot of years. And obviously it's not exclusive to Intamin. Like Premier have been doing it on their Skyrocket 2s as well. Yeah. But I feel like with each of these projects, multiple layouts will have been made for each of them, like in each
setting, each park,
in each scenario, in each project, each situation for Intamin's layout design department. Like it would be super interesting to see like what other renditions of these layouts have been thought of, suggested, worked within and stuff.
Almost passed.
Yeah.
It just makes you think, doesn't it? Like, how many potential rides could come from this one? It's like Taron paved the way for certain things to happen, right? We all agree with that. Like the way that Taron was designed and put together and everything. Velocicoaster, I feel like since then in Pantheon, like there's been this revolution in Intamin coasters. I mean, you've got Spain building one, you know, you've got France building one now. It's like it's like what we talked about last week quickly. It's just briefly like they are literally just on fire right now. They're just putting out these layouts. And to think how long they might have actually had these for, just sat there, you know, like from past projects, maybe, you know, like, let's pull this out. Let's have a look at this.
I wouldn't doubt they take like ideas. Maybe not full layouts, like layout suggestions from one and then apply it to another, but like certain ideas they had for one, they may look into that and how they can maybe work that.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna suggest. They're not gonna be like make a design and be like, we're not gonna make something we can't make. They're like, it's possible, but is it right for this potential park, this layout, something? And then like they'll just bench things, won't they? And they'll be like, we'll come back to that.
I would love to see that archive.
And then when a coaster puts out, you know, a kind of a brief to parks and gets multiple manufacturers, and they're like, this is something we want to see. They're like, oh well, we've got this that we were thinking of doing.
This is very similar to what you're asking for.
This is kind of, you know, because it's not going to be
one thing that I have just thought about that you reminded me of, Luke. To your point about Velocicoaster, I do think to some degree that Velocicoaster will have set a kind of like I suppose a standard of, and I say that loosely, but like a standard of balancing a thrilling and aggressive roller coaster with an elaborately themed setting and environment. Yeah, because and it's going to be interesting to see how much theming is included on this Parque Warner Madrid coaster, because with toutatis, you know, as recently I've obviously been putting photos in the in our CD chat this past week. They recently finished track work on toutatis. They're not starting. They're as I've been told, or as I've heard, they're not starting testing until October.
Right.
It's now the beginning of June.
Yeah.
They've got loads of time. So
supply
you have to think. I mean, like as we saw from the computer renderings and stuff at IAPA, there was a lot of trench work on that ride, a lot of rock work in those trenches. You have to, from the concept art that we've seen that's kind of like, you know, floating around on the internet and stuff, that like it looks like it's going to have an elaborate theme, an elaborate storyline to it. It's going to be based around that god toutatis.
I mean, it's in the park, you know, the park is well themed, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. Parc Asterix, like they know what they're doing when it comes to theming their thrill coasters. It's going to be interesting to see how well themed that coaster ends up being.
Can I also
to when it starts testing?
Can I also just note for a second though that the managing director of Parque Warner went on record to say that was it Parque Warner? Yeah, it was Parque Warner. Went on record to say that Taron was a big influence on this. Ooh. Like this, that's what he went on to say. Okay. So whether that means, I don't necessarily mean that's layout. That might just be kind of like the
speed,
idea
pace,
of it.
Right.
Idea,
could be anything,
story.
You know?
Yeah.
This is
well. I mean, I kind of think that may mean more so than anything else just the influence of the thematic aspect of that experience.
So this is toutatis. Yeah, there's some. I need to get on with them other ones. I can't find them now because it's too far up in the chat. But of them topping off this was really cool to see.
That looks so floaty.
The cranes. Yeah, it's looking impressive, man. It's looking.
I just love how there's the two supports missing out of the entry.
Yeah. Looks like one of my NL2.
It's like, are they gonna put those in, or are they just for vibes, or like what are we doing? They're just for banter, or
yeah.
Nah, they're just hanging in there.
One thing I will say about this is that so this top hat is not going to be like Velocicoasters in the sense that, or Pantheons for that matter, in the sense that it has like it has trim brakes going all the way down the exit side.
Yeah.
And if you remember what we saw in the animation shown at IATA, like it was slowed down, like almost, I think they're calling it an anticipation stall or an anticipation hold or something like that. Not that it's going to come to a complete stop, but like it's just going to be slowed down before it comes off the trims and like goes down the drop. Yeah. Like there's a lot of trim brake brackets on that exit side piece of track on the top hat, and there's also those same sort of trim brake brackets on a couple of the pieces of track on the pieces of track that we saw at the Parque Warner Madrid Intamin as well.
Yes.
So it seems like it may have the same effect on if the Parque Warner coaster does indeed have a top hat on it. It seems like it may have that same anticipation holding stall, whatever kind of.
It's still high after that stall though.
on the top hat. Which I don't know how I feel about. I'm gonna have to see what a back row ride feels like, but I don't like the prospect of limiting the airtime on that top hat.
So quickly on that,
we'll see how it.
Does Velocicoaster trim, or is that literally just a block stop?
No. Straight like those. It does have LSM. LSM fins on the top hat, but they're literally just
because it can hold the train up there, can't it, for safety?
Yeah. It's for that or to just, I suppose, pull the train along if it needs.
Yeah, for sure. If it's
because you get. I mean, it's going to be designed with Florida mad weather in mind, isn't it? Like, so you get they're going to have
some ways more so than others.
And they are getting mad weather. I'm like
with the way that thing's chewing through wheels. Some way more than others.
The amount of rides it does a day, though.
Yeah. So. Shall we talk about the? Let's move on to PA.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because
it's behind Stampeder.
So depends where you're looking at it, actually.
Well, I mean, it's in the western area. Yeah, right.
It's so I know exactly where this photo was taken.
I was going to say,
this is the drone. This is the drone. Let me get the one that I know.
Is that from a hotel?
So this is from the bridge that connects the Westin Hotel, Gold River Hotel to where's the other one? Yeah, so like this is as you can kind of see, like you can't see my cursor, but there's a bridge that kind of goes by it. Oh, there's a better photo. This is like from the bridge. That's looking down. So if you imagine behind you is Stampeder.
Yeah.
And this gives you a better idea. So you can see the carousel in the background.
Yeah, literally.
And then
area.
Yeah. So just to where you can see to like the left of the photo, right at the left of them buildings, that's where you get into the hotel. So Stampeder is to the side of it, kind of.
Yeah.
And
you can literally see this. You can literally see the turnaround on Stampeder in the
the high five elements there.
But just giving you like an anchor point of like where it is in relation to each other.
So is that the show on the opposite side of that building there, or is it? It is.
So that's the
stands, right?
That is the stand, but it's kind of So like you have to. It's like further up to get into that arena.
Yeah,
so the entrance you get into it is way further up.
Yeah, because it has a weird cutout, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I remember it slightly.
But this is a huge area, so
it is massive.
I did some digging on this, and
no pun intended.
I went on PA forums, like Spanish forums and looked at what people were talking about. And to begin with, a lot of people were saying it was going to be a dark ride and it might be like to do with La Liga. But a lot of people do not think that this is in the wrong place to be anything to do with La Liga. So the park have publicly stated that there's a new coaster coming to PortAventura in 2023. So next year.
Jesus Christ.
And it's going to be a European first.
Another
coaster.
fighter steps into the ring.
Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be a European first, but there's only one other in the world of this coaster. Which people are thinking, what do we think? What so let's throw a couple of things out there.
What kind of coaster is there only one of in the world?
Intamin hot rod single rail.
Hot racer.
Hot racer, yeah.
This is the leading theory right now that it's going to be a hot racer. And I mean, these Spanish enthusiasts, they don't fuck around. They've done some
I remember when Shambhala was like, we're building a ride. It's a B&M. Well done. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Like 3 years on. It was like we knew it was a B&M before we even tried.
They've really dug into this. And we're talking about like December last year that they were anticipating this because they announced that something was coming, like a coaster was coming in. It was this
NDAs
whole like
don't exist in Spanish parks.
But when they announced this that it's going to be Europe's first, but there's only one other in the world, they started like thinking, well, it could be a tilt coaster, probably not going to be a tilt. And then they said, then everyone was kind of like, it's got to be an Intamin hot racer. And then like shortly after they announced this, someone realized that Intamin had put a hot rod photo up. Now this might be a stretch, right? But it's something. And someone went, well, they put up a different like the model. So on the right here, can you see like the pathwork?
Yeah.
To like the original Ferrari work. And
yeah.
And they were saying like it could be like a little clue that, they've kind of designed this to show like PortAventura or something. So there's a little bit of clues there. But for sure we know it's going to be a coaster. We just don't know. And it seems like it's going to be
a racing steel coaster next to a racing wooden coaster would be such a nice touch. That'd be amazing. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. But throughput.
Yeah, but it's a racing one.
Which is what I was going to touch on. Someone John Pagan mentioned it in the chat.
I genuinely don't think they care.
Hot racer or PortAventura with their key management.
I don't think PortAventura care. Like you said, they do not care that much about the ops. Are questionable at that park. Let's be honest.
Well, it's just relaxed, isn't it? It's a different culture, and there'll be queue jumpers wherever you go in Spain. So just be ready for.
Well, it's not even that. It's their shall we say, to run coasters with.
They have siestas in the afternoon.
with one train in order to. I mean, I can only talk on what I've heard countless amount of people say is just minimal trains to run up the lines and make people want to buy fast tracks.
Yeah, and that's what they love doing. PortAventura love selling fast passes. That's what their business model is like based on. So I don't think
which
is
necessarily scandalous in my opinion.
It is, but they're shameless about it, man.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, choose a time. Honestly, if you're a UK enthusiast going to PA, just choose a time of the week, a time of the year where it's just not going to be rammed.
Don't go on a weekend.
Don't go on a weekend.
If you go on a weekend, you're gonna have to
lower your expectations of what you're getting on.
And you're gonna have to. If you go on a weekend, you have to buy fast pass, express to have a decent time. It's a shame because in the week that place is like heaven to me. I absolutely love that park so much. And
gorgeous. It's like a park with rides.
It's so weird. You go down on a Friday, it's so good. Saturday, it's like living hell sometimes.
Yes.
It's okay if you have express because it's like a normal park day then, and you can just keep, and it's unlimited express, and it's kind of cheap as well for what you're getting, which is the problem in a way. But I mean, that's so I don't know. that's the theory. It's too early yet just to tell from like this.
I don't know if it is or not, because I mean they are big columns, and to me that's like a big turnaround. And to that point of what you just showed, that could be the digging out for both set of footers. So not just one. If it's a dueling coaster, that could be both sides, and that could be that turnaround that we literally just looked at.
Yeah, to be fair, like I can't think why they would be like sectioning out what looks like sorry, I've been drinking. What looks like pads of what could end up being like pads of concrete footers. Like if either of you have seen like the construction work going on with, this is wildly like kind of unrelated, but like the construction work going on Air Force One at the moment, they're doing pads of concrete footers for the steel support structure to sit on.
Yeah,
it kind of seems like they might be going the same or a similar kind of route here with these blocked out sections, especially for two tracks to go over those sections.
By the way, Planet Plipco Cam, he said planning October trip might hold out now. I've heard this. October, we always go October. It's perfect time to go, actually. It's actually, we always go October. It's really good. If you go in October in the week, you get Halloween as well.
Yeah, I mean,
really good. It's really good.
Go and check out the construction as well, because you know they've got a fence up there, but it's right at the path.
Planet also said, a really nice message actually, evening, just recently discovered the pod from PS and been listening to Catalog Solid on Dog Walks. Really great content. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
What's PS?
PlayStation?
Pod from PS.
Pod sound, pod summit. Pod something?
Maybe.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Let us know. Thanks so much for checking us out, though. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Having new people watch the show.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah, Hot Racer would ruin the Far West area. I don't want it. Yeah, that was going to be my thing as well. I was thinking how they would have to really.
It'll be brown and gold.
Yeah, I think if they did make it brown and gold, or even black and gold.
Yeah,
like you know, you get like it'd be more like a like a locomotive style. They could make if they themed it up right, and we saw that. I think with Red Force.
I was literally just thinking,
is really nicely done.
Yes,
I was literally just thinking like a minimalistic kind of design, a model design, like just not even just Intamin Hot Racer, just a single rail coaster, like an RMC Raptor or Series or whatever. Like a minimalistic design like that lends itself really well to so many different thematic ideas.
Yeah,
and like you could go in so many different directions thematically with a coaster attraction like that. I feel like they could.
Rollerbaz just said Park Spill. Yeah, of course, probably. Everyone's like Park Spill. My channel, yeah.
PlayStation.
I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that. In my head, I work with Photoshop every day, so I'm thinking Photoshop.
No.
Park Spill. No, thanks. That makes sense.
Oh, Rollerbaz and coaster. That is pushing the boundaries of
Western.
I was thinking.
Cowboy Rookberg. Yo, I'm here for it. Cowboy Rookberg. I want to see it. I'm not.
You know
what I mean with that black woman. I would like to see it.
I mean, we know it's not going to be Rookberg, but steampunk I could see working because steampunk is based on Western
steampunk. Yeah. I want to see it.
Well, that's honestly,
Western is steampunk.
Yeah, Western is steampunk. That's where steampunk comes from. It's Western. It's like what's his name? I always forget his name now. Who's the guy who invented steampunk? The author. Come on,
Jules Verne.
Mr. Punk.
Jules Verne, yeah. But yeah, no, it could work. It could work really well.
I was just throwing out a name.
Wild West. Yes, pull out that.
It was
IP.
Jules Verne, yeah.
Pull out that IP. Yes, that would be sick. That would be sick.
we could have we could have Will Smith just slapping. We could have like a photo op where he just slaps you.
Will Smith just knocked the shit out of me.
just like an actual figure of Will Smith with his hand out, and you could just be like that.
Can you imagine just as he slaps you, the train launches?
Yeah.
He slaps you into the launch.
Yeah. Kyle, who's that creator on No Limits that does them crazy videos? What's he called? Oh, what's he called?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Oh, he has like loads of weird, like he builds like really good rides and real rides, but then he'll add like weird things like floating clouds and stuff. And you do like triple loops in certain coasters, but then it'll go back to the actual layout. It's like, huh?
Do you mean like does he mean like meme coaster projects?
Yeah.
You're not talking about XYZ coasters, like
XYZ, that's it. Yeah. That is something he would do, right?
Probably. Like his shit is funny as hell.
So because you follow it. Who did the Binley Mega Chippy coaster? Someone did that on No Limits.
I don't know. But
ridiculous.
I imagine a few people in the No Limits community has probably had a hack at that.
How? How?
I just feel sorry for the people that live by it. That's your local chippy, and suddenly just got all these TikTokers and.
Would you want a chip butty? Look, yeah, all right, okay. Hang on, 40-minute wait.
Nope. No, but so
Wild West, I think that's perfect.
Really,
John Pagan said Wild West Golden Lasso. I'm fucking
yeah, he's onto something here. The Wild West Golden Lasso. Oh god, that actually makes a lot of sense. This is another stick moment. This is another sick silk moment.
Oh my god, please no.
Reading new banner that says "Don't mention Flamingo Land."
I want one of those a year, please. Like I don't need to go down.
One of those a year. I can't handle it.
Well, I'm thinking like with that whole, because obviously we stayed at Hotel Gold River recently, which is the hotel that backs off the western area.
Gold River.
And they've got like a huge train in the middle of that whole resort, and I could just see them having this new area. If there's an Intamin hot race there, just having a big old, like I say, like steampunk style train with like, I reckon black and gold tracks, or just like, even if it's just like a Zarja color, like deep kind of scarlet type of, that would work in the western area.
That like deep cherry red.
Yeah, that would work quite well.
I'm actually really invested in this. What's going on
Porter.
Yeah,
because like, if anything, like I want them to have a new coaster that's in PortAventura, not like.
So Luke, I'll be looking to you for the photo updates then, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to be following this very closely because, like I say, like I've wanted this for so long, because however much I love Red Force, it's great, but it feels so weird, like not being part of PortAventura. Like it's
and an upcharge as well. Well, not an upcharge; it's a separate park, but you go through the same fucking gate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it should be part of the same, but
it should
not.
Be Italy. It should be Italy. You've got also themed to a vineyard behind it. Do you know what I mean?
But then it's always like, yeah. But then it's always like dead as well in there. There's no atmosphere in there.
Branching off this a little bit, but staying on topic of PortAventura. Like, when was the last time either of you went to PortAventura?
We went 2017 for me. Quite a long time ago.
We went last October, didn't we?
All right. Okay. So, like, I assume you rode Stampeder.
Yeah.
Then right. Like, what did you think of how it was running? Like, then I suppose from either of you,
it's awful.
Not good.
It's not good.
Really, is it?
No matter what side you get on, as soon as them brakes lift and you hit that little drop before the lift hill, it's
getting worse. It's getting worse. We like before last year. We went in 2019, and it was okay, but
so that was even a couple of years after me, and it was bad when I was there in 17.
And it was like it was getting like it was still kind of enjoyable, but like but then like the last time we did it, oh my god, it was bad. It was bad, and they run it so bad. I think I said this before, but the fact that like when it hits 2:00, they start taking rows off it. So they don't load the back rows, and then they just slowly take it up until it's like they're loading half trains. Like it's so weird.
Because I think it's because it's so rough in them seats when it gets warmed up, especially with the heat as well. I think I've ridden that ride so many times, and I remember the first time I rode it, loved it. So every time I ride it, I try and channel that inner enjoyment that I had the first time, like the high five element, and
Matt said it's bad in April.
That was a massive part of its marketing, was that everything in PA before Shambhala was built was Stampeder doing that with the high five. That was
the last time I went to PortAventura, it was 2016, and I can't remember if it had the comeback trains on it by then. Do either of you remember what year the comeback trains were added?
I don't remember.
Find out.
I can't remember. I can't remember if they were there in 2016. I can't even actually remember if I rode Stampede.
I find it weird. What I find weird is like there might be a reason for this, but the fact that Tomahawk got like Millennium Flyers,
and
then like
Shambhala. I almost said
Shambhala did it. Shambhala.
Imagine Shambhala with Millennium Flyers.
Why the hell did a B&M Hyper not get Millennium Flyer trains? What are you
to the most factual podcast?
I can't remember if Stampeder had the comeback trains when I rode in 2016, but
I think they did.
I do remember it being. It's sad because like I remember riding it Shambhala when it had the PDC trains and thinking it was awesome. Like I really liked it.
Yeah, well, I never did.
Yeah,
I never did them trains, but apparently like, the newer trains made it worse. That's what most people say.
Yeah.
Out and Back Travel says 2008, and they had to come back trains back then. So
it probably had them when I rode it.
Trains were replaced in 2007. So the first time I went to PA was 2005. So yes, I rode it with the original.
Right.
So yeah. So I've rode it with
I definitely rode it with the original PTC trains, and I must have. I can't imagine going to PortAventura and not riding Shambhala at any moment in time. So I must have ridden it in 2016.
Yeah,
I just can't remember how it was, but enough people say like the ride experience is just god awful these days with the.
It's such a shame because it's got such a great layout. It really has, and it's the fact that like. Not only
Woody as well.
Not only is it really rough, it also like slows down like so dramatically, like suddenly, and then it's nothing. It feels like nothing after a while.
I remember it used to hit them brakes after that turn, and it just used to, and now it's just like it's not what it was.
It's such a shame, and I've said this. I've said this before, but when me and Joe met when me and Joe met John Wardley, I asked him about like.
You didn't ask him why Stampede is so rough.
No.
Nemesis.
Why Stampede is shit?
What? Why?
Why is it so bad? No, what I said to him was, I was like, when was the last time you went out to PortAventura? And he said, I think it was like, he said 10 years ago. And he goes, I won't be back until Tomahawk duels with Stampeder. That's how it was always meant to be. And I was like, that's so funny. Like, he was like, yeah, they're meant to interact with each other. And that's literally what he said.
Yeah.
So I was just like, even John Ward is saying that.
For sure.
It's awesome. It's the best. It's a shame that it's the best Woody there now.
It really,
it legit is.
Yeah,
it's all it's fun. Bad.
So but, Luke, you mentioned it. I was gonna like. I don't want to feed into this narrative of every Woody getting RMC'd and stuff, but like this one in particular, how would you feel about?
Love it.
About seeing Stampeder getting getting converted in some way. If
I'd love
not RMC, then if
GCI.
it was to get Titan,
I'd
some Titan retracking on it, or
Stampede, new lease of life.
Or even if Gravity Group did some work on it or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a great coaster. It's got a legacy in that park. To get rid of it would be a shame. To reinvent it would be, I think, a good move for the park.
It needs to be reinvented.
Yeah, it does.
It fits so well into that area. Like
it does.
And
you know, you've got the barbecue grill literally built underneath it. You know, like
you need. Like you can't have like that area is one of my favorite areas in a theme park.
It's
like the
stunning with
area.
the carousel.
Oh, it's so lovely.
That view,
that whole area, the bridge going over to it into the western area, into Far West, and then it's just I love a Woody. And then when you go to a Woody in a hot country and you get that, I know it sounds weird, but the smell of wood, and it's just like baking, and then it's just such a nice feeling. I love it. And
it is, and especially when you walk in and all the facades they've built, you know, and that little tunnel vision you get of Stampede's entrance. It's so good.
I'd rather see GCI go in and like do a full retrack, like what they did to Ghost Rider. That's what I would rather see.
Give it the Ghost Rider treatment.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see it get the Ghost Rider treatment. That's what I think. Even though I think an RMC would be good for PortAventura, like it would be good.
Yeah,
for it would attract a lot of attention, and it'd be better marketing strategy than just retracking it. So I just think I don't want to lose like just Woodies for the sake of it, just for RMC. RMCs can be ground like RMCs are great and they can be built from the ground up, like they can be but these wooden coasters, like if you just keep getting rid of them, like I love a good. I don't know how you're saying that, but I love a good Woody.
You love good wood.
Yeah.
And there's no shame in that.
I don't want. I'm gonna
fire a few thoughts. So when it comes to RMC conversions, I am all for them when the proposed layout makes sense. And with like when it comes to my preference with RMC conversions, if they do something a little bit more than just, you know, throw 27 million airtime moments at you, if they do something other than that, then I'm a fan. Well, I'm a fan of the 27 million RMC moments, airtime moments as well. But if you do something along the lines of Zadra, where the airtime moments are dispersed in between like sensor speed and different aspects and stuff like that, I'm a fan of it. Now, I was kind of on the fence with the thought of Stampede getting RMC'd until I saw a couple of sort of just like fan-made concepts of how it could look, and some of them look really fucking good.
Yeah, they would.
Some of them are really good.
They would.
And I'm just
good.
like that plot, like the plot that Stampede sits on. Like I would like, provided like, you know, the layout includes a lot of different aspects of an intense coaster experience, not just you know, like 73 like fucking airtime moments like Steel Vengeance, something like that. I do like Steel Vengeance a lot, but I would like them to be a bit more varied and a bit more creative with the layout design and the ride experience. Something like Iron Gwazi or something like Zadra or something like Outlaw Run or something like that. And just in terms of the myriad of like the variation of things to put in the layout.
But Kyle, what's the RMC called? That races it's green and blue. What's it called? White support.
Twisted Colossus.
Yes, I was trying to think of the name of it. Yeah, I feel like that is probably a route they would go with.
Right.
Stampede.
Yeah, like potentially if they wanted to keep the dueling aspect, but I don't necessarily like. I know what you're gonna say. I don't know if I've verbalized this. I'm not the biggest fan of dueling coasters. Like,
no,
like,
I mean
in terms like
I love them.
In terms of like maximizing what a layout can do, I feel like I feel like layouts kind of get dumb, like not dumb,
Dumbed down.
like watered down.
No, you're right.
In sacrifice for the aspect of dueling. I kind of think that happens a lot with dueling coasters.
Yeah,
but
sure. I agree with that.
But I think that's
true. I think that's true if you're looking at it from. I mean, I think that's true if you're looking at it before we move on. I think that's true if you're looking at it from purely a technical standpoint.
Good point.
But when you're on like a dueling coaster, like this is why like Joris and Drac at Efteling is a great example of a dueling coaster done right, especially a wooden, GCI wooden coaster done right. Like the interaction you have, the fact that like, especially when you're doing the flybys next to each other, like that's what I love. Like
that's the thing though, the interaction and the flybys are what you love so much about it.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And I think, high fives are great and stuff. That's really good. But like, it's when you're like really like, you feel like you're dueling with each other, and then you're like, okay, where's the train gone now? So it comes back.
My point.
If you've got like friends on another train, like what everyone does on Grand National, like that actually makes that ride so much better. Like
of course,
when you,
of course.
You know what I mean? Like if you can sync that up, like it's so good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's my.
So like, if you were to, I hate doing these kind of hypothetical sort of situations because you're never going to get to experience this ride this way. But for the sake of playing devil's advocate and the sake of conversation, if you were to split the two layouts from each other and just experience one by itself, would you still say that's a good? Would you still say that's like a good coaster, like a certifiably good coaster?
Yeah, but it's just different in a different way. Like
I'll take your word for it because I've not been to Efteling. I'll take your word for it. Yeah. But I just feel like I hate to,
it wouldn't be like, I wouldn't say like, for example, let's compare.
We're gonna circle back to my point, I promise, as well.
If I compare one half of Joris and Drac to Troy, there's no competition. Like obviously, like Troy is like one massive coaster, and it's completely different.
See, like that's what I mean.
Wicker Man's tiny.
That's what I mean.
It's tiny. It's so tiny. Yeah, but you can't compare Wicker Man to like anything other than like Anubis. Heidi the Ride. It's a little. It's like Wicker Man. Even though it's furious. Once you've done like Troy, like Woden, for example, like once you've done these big, massive GCIs, like Wicker Man is kind of like Wicker Man's just cute. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a cute little coaster. Like it's not.
Yeah, but it's a good, solid coaster though.
Wicker Man is good. Like
it is good. I'm not saying it's not good, but you can't compare Wicker Man to Troy or even one half of Joris and Drac. Like you haven't got the height, you haven't got the speed. Like just like you can't compare it. It's like comparing,
that's pretty much what I was about to say.
It's like comparing Icon to like Taron. Like you can't really make them comparisons because they're not designed to like compete with each other. Yeah, they're just not like.
Like it's especially when it comes to GCIs, like it's levels to it. Like
I'm trying to think of it as a separate thing. As not as a layout comparison or a feeling comparison, but the type of market it's to attract. Wicker Man attracts the same market. It's a Woody, it's a GCI, it's a family coaster, 1.2. That's the kind of thing. That's what Stampeder is as well. Like, obviously, it's not a couple of them things, but it's for that market. It's for that. Yeah, it's for that market, and that's the only comparison I am making with it. Let me put that out there. Yeah. But it's like sense. If they was to do an RMC on Stampeder, and they lost the dueling element, I think it'd be a loss to the park because it's always been the draw for the park. Before
I will flat out say that like I wouldn't be happy with it being RMC'd. I just wouldn't. I think like at the end of the day, like we need to not confuse the two. Like an RMC is a steel coaster. Like it's more of a steel coaster than it is a wooden coaster.
For sure, it is
an iBox hybrid to be specific.
Yeah, yeah. And to be specific, it is a still coaster. It rides like a still coaster. It is a still coaster, but I love Woodies. So I think a Woody and an RMC and a hybrid can exist in the same park, and that's what I'd rather see. That I'd rather see that than, and like sometimes it's warranted. Like Robin Hood was not a great layout for like this day and age. Do you know what I mean? Like there was nothing really. Like if GCI went in and retracked it, it would just be like an out and back. It's kind of gone. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like Stampeder has the layout. Like Ghost Rider, would you like to have seen Ghost Rider?
Do you know what? Yeah, and I mean, like this circles back to the point I was going to make. Like, I would love to see either or. This is the point I was about to make. Like, I would love to see either. Sure. I would love to see either or. Like some of the RMC conversion concepts that I've seen, I look at them and I'm like, I would love to see Stampeder converted to like specifically that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would also love to see GCI go in there, do a full retrack, put 12-car Millennium Flyer trains on it, and give it the Ghost Rider treatment, basically, and just revitalize that entire dueling wooden coaster experience. I would love to see that. I would love to see the Ghost Rider treatment given on a whole heap of just Woodies that whose quality is just declining. I would love to see GCI and Gravity Group be able to go in and do that and just revitalize them. Stampede is definitely one of them. I would love to see either an RMC conversion, a substantial one, not just a substantial one, or like a full retracking.
Oh, by the way, Craig's just dropped in to say, so sorry guys, so busy tonight. I've popped on to wish McCall all the best, my man. Take care and look after yourself. The motherboard of
I love that knowledge.
Man. Thank you very much. He's going to be back though, Craig. He's not going anywhere.
I am not that. There are people in this community much more knowledgeable than I am.
No, you're up there. Bro.
You don't give yourself enough credit, Mikhail.
Yeah. I always ask you questions.
I think just quickly back on the RMC argument. With the success of Iron Gwazi though, and it has been a success. Let's not beat around the bush. I feel like if Stampeder was to get dropped down and rebuilt with the foundations and stuff, I could see something like Iron Gwazi popping up at PA. Whether or not we want that or not, if we got that, I don't think anyone would complain. Like
they would have to if they wanted Iron Gwazi. I mean, I need to go and see Iron Gwazi to see like the footprint of it because I've never.
And you will soon.
I will soon, very soon. I'll be there. But yeah, like when before I did any research into this, I was looking at like the groundworks, and I was like, oh, could you imagine if they just put like a stall over that bridge? And that was like the second half of it. I was like, oh, that would I would. But yeah, but like I say, like I mean, even Iron Gwazi, I mean, we talked about it the other week, like after watching Altora Ryan's like video on it, like that's not far off a ground up.
no. I mean,
it doesn't follow like that. Does not follow that much of the original track, really. They pulled a lot of
it just uses the footers. It just uses the footers in an entirely different way than the original did.
That was a fucking sick video. It was so well explained.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I mean, his videos are like insane.
They are.
Like,
so much more of them.
Like any video he does, like blows. I'm like, how many people does this guy know to like, get this get this insider information that like everyone's like wondering about? Like, it's so crazy. But that's the thing. The bigger he's getting, the more access he's getting to like this sort of stuff. Like the more people he's speaking to, who do know this stuff.
And like, I feel like just the general consensus within the community, like people know him to be just. Like one of the more loved YouTubers and just people in general in the community in terms of just people who are approachable and people you can have like a conversation, like an in-depth, like real nerdy conversation about. And it won't be obnoxious. It's just all like for the love of what we love.
He's got
and like
he's
working at Cedar Point. Working at Cedar Point,
well.
there are so many enthusiasts that work at Cedar Point. Like he will have, there are so many enthusiasts at Cedar Point that know other enthusiasts that work at different parks as well. So like he'll definitely be well connected up in terms of people who he can talk to about different rides at different parks.
So. Can I just say just quickly about PA? If you are wanting to follow all of the developments at PA, there is a Facebook page you need to follow, and that is PA Community. And I would probably follow them on all the other socials as well, because they nail this every time something is built. Every time something is being built, they know stuff. So give them a follow, and obviously Coast to Gem will be sharing all that stuff as well across all the socials. But like for sure, I'm going to be keeping my eye on this ball. I ain't going to be letting off it, because this is a park that I adore. It was the first park outside of the UK that I went to, so it's like. It's almost like my local in a way. It's just so close, man.
Yeah. It feels like it does feel like I know.
Salou in general feels like a second home to me. I've been there so many times.
Mate, if James Larson can call Energylandia his home park, you can call PortAventura your home park.
John Ballard's just man. I remember the first time riding that. That was insane.
Oh, hi, by the way, Rob. Sorry.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Rob said, I say retrack Stampeder so I can have +1 CCI to my manufacturer.
Fair.
I just wanted to do a quick shout out.
One thing I will say about the Ghost Rider treatment as well, in terms of just Ghost Rider specifically, I love that GCI retracked that coaster, but didn't deviate so far away from the original layout to the where it wouldn't not feel like a CCI anymore, because I've ridden Ghost Rider when it was a CCI, but not after the retracking. But looking at POVs on the retracking, like it looks like the retracked layout still holds a lot of the CCI sort of design language to it. There's still a lot of lats in those turns in that final helix. Like it still looks like it has a lot of the CCI characteristics in it, and I love that GCI kept, like the original sort of
they give a shit
characteristics of the ride in it while making it, just much more rideable. And if GCI were to do that with Stampeder as well, like I would love for them to be able to keep the CCI characteristics of both of those sides of the coaster, like as they are, just make it a more rideable and re-rideable experience. But keeping the turns where there's loads of lats in the turns, and just keeping the original CCI characteristics in the ride. That would be
for sure. And I think that awesome. when they do a retrack like that, these kind of conversations are ongoing, like throughout. Like,
yeah, for sure.
If we do this is going to be different. If we do this, it's going to be different. But if we do this, we'll keep this amount of lats, this amount of force going into the next section. It'll enable us to, everything's about fluidity, isn't it? Of a layout. When you are designing a roller coaster, how does it flow? And I think if they change something, it has to be changed somewhere else as well to match it. So if they keep the design language of what's something that's already great, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Literally. That's it.
Totally.
No, I agree. What are you saying, Sean?
I can't remember now. What was it?
You were doing a shout out.
Oh yeah, I can't find it though. Oh, it's all right. Whatever. Right. So Planet Plipcam said, just a quick question. Sorry, off topic. Is Energylandia achievable in a day in June or July? I don't count creds. That's the big information there. Is he doesn't count creds. So if you don't count creds,
Zadra.
Yeah, you could easily do that in a day. Yeah, you could get in like the major coasters, which is Hyperion, Zadra, Abyssus, Formula, That's basically it, really.
Out and back travel said one day just to walk the Zadra queue.
Yeah, no, you're not even lying.
From everything I've seen of that coaster, that's the only thing I'm not looking forward to.
Have you?
It needs a sky ride.
When you get a chance, I don't know. Have you? I mean, I'm not shaming you, mate. I know you've been busy, Luke, but have you seen our vlog yet?
Not all the way through.
There's a time lapse of that queue of Zadra.
All the way through.
Really, it shows you like how long that queue is. Like,
okay,
we literally timed it multiple times last year as well. It was like 6.5 minutes.
Holy shit!
And that's like pacing
really
it as well. Yeah, that's like pacing it as well. It's ridiculous. Like it's
it's insane how long that queue is.
I'm gonna do a YouTube special and skip to that bit on your vlog. I just want to see it. I am gonna watch it all. I'm trying to save a lot. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to save a lot of stuff for the plane.
It's definitely the best vlog I've done in a while. I think I really enjoyed that. Just it's got like POVs make a massive difference. I think, especially when it's like your first ride and you get that like initial like reaction when the brake run and like the noises I'm making them it's pretty embarrassing the noises I'm making.
It's an hour long. Yeah, man.
I watched it back and I was like, you know what? It's an hour long. I didn't even put all the POVs in it. I cut a lot of them down.
Heard it.
That's what happened with us at Flamingo Land.
Yeah!
When we got, obviously you don't need permission to film at Flamingo Land. Yeah. But like when I put the POVs in on the vlog, it took it to like an hour and 30. I was like, damn! Like imagine if this was a Towers vlog. You'd actually get the experience.
At Energylandia, you don't need permission.
Yeah, you just get a sticker, don't you, or something?
You just get a sticker at the turnstile if you just give it to him, which is, I think, every park should do. I just don't understand. Like, if you've got a GoPro harness and a GoPro, like what? People are going on rides and we're flipping like loose change in their flipping pockets.
Key rings.
Do you know what I mean?
Baggage hold gives you.
It's like people. I just don't get it. Like if you give. That. Like if you give your he literally the security guard is like pulling it. He spent a good like 2-3 minutes like inspecting it. I was like, he knows that it's going to be fine. Like what is the problem here? It's such a good system.
Shout out projection in the chat. He says
hey,
I got
projection
30K steps. 30K steps on my first day at Energylandia. Most of that was Zadra's queue.
Yeah, no, honestly, we got
same dude, same.
78,000 steps we got in 3 days at Energylandia. I had my watch on mate. 78,000 steps.
I think 33 is an average day at Towers, so that puts it in perspective.
Yeah, like I mean, it's mad. It's mad. It's a great park though. It's such a fun park. I can't it's a weird one because. Do you feel like you need to rush back there, McCall?
I feel like I need to rush back to Zadra.
Yes, Zadra. Yeah, definitely. I would
specifically.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
No. But like,
it's not really a shame.
It's not really a shame because like I would love to I actually think that not enough gets said about how pleasant Energylandia is as a park as a whole. Like, fair? Because it is really I think people just hear about the amount of family coasters and the amount of junior coasters it has, and just kind of have this preperceived idea of just like it just being like any not just not a great amusement park just with a bunch of insignificant coasters around. But once you get there,
that's cheap projection. Yeah.
Once you get that also as well, it's cheap as fuck. So you might as well just fucking go.
Yeah.
But once you get there, you see how well presented all of even outside of the clearly themed areas like Smoxy Grod and Aqualantis and Sweet Valley when that opens. Even outside of those areas, you see how well presented and clean, like Sean said, the rest of the park is. All of the junior coasters are just really nicely presented and put together.
It's like
a nice park to be in.
it's like even like in like the kids areas and stuff, that like the themes, like they don't bleed well in together. They're all like just their own theme, but like they're just done really well. Like they're just done really, really well. Like even though it's a strange park, but the reasons I don't feel like I need to rush back is because obviously we had like nearly 3 days there, so we got everything in.
Yeah.
But the only time I'd rush back there is if there was a big group. I was going with a big group because I think I said before, and then
oh well.
I know.
When do you say that?
Heard it 1,000 times. Yeah, I know the big group out in there, but like I say, like even like with like you guys or something, do you know what I mean? Like that, it's such a good park for groups to go to because there's just so much to do. Like the drink is cheap. Like you could just chill there. Like, you know, you got good opening hours, good operations. Like most of the time it's really quiet as well. Like it's a great park for a group. But I think me and Joe by ourselves, we wouldn't rush back there because I feel like we've done everything there is to do, really. I mean, there's loads of little rides we didn't get to do. But I mean, this place just like copies, it's like copy and paste. Like they've got when Sweet Valley opens, I think they'll have like 3 rocking tugs. Do you know what I mean? Like just 3 rocking tugs by themselves. It's just so weird. But it's good because it helps the throughput. Like, so there's not like loads of families are queuing up for like all the little stuff. But it's a great park. It's just, yeah, like there's just places I want to go now. Even though I want to go back and see do Zarja again. It's like there's RMCs I want to do more now. Like I want to get out to Wildfire. I want to experience that thing. Yeah, there's just so much I want to get out and do. So do the rides, stay open until park closed. Just thinking if I was just doing one day. So it's just this typical kind of like park on mainland Europe, really. It's like
depends if they want to go home or not.
It's really dependent on queue. We had this at Hansa as well, where it's if a queue's over a certain limit, they just stop people. So we didn't get on Hyperion at the end of the day just because it was like the queue was over half an hour, so they just cut it half an hour early. So it is a shame when they do that, especially if they don't advertise it. But yeah, it is what it is, really. It's the way it is. What I liked about Highlander though at Hansa, that stayed open until the very last minute because it could take so many people on it. So yeah, there we go. So I think we've mate, we've done another record-breaking length podcast.
How do we?
I don't know. How.
I don't think a short episode will ever exist on Chain Dogs.
No.
I don't think that's a thing that will happen.
I think it's about time to wrap it up. So Luke has prepared an acoustic song to see Mikhail. This is a massive surprise.
It's called.
But it's actually he's written a song. So take it away, Luke.
Can I get a yeah? There we go. That was it. Thank you. That'll be out on TikTok later, and we'll be opening a chippy. Yeah.
Available on all DSPs by Friday.
I'm gonna put like you can tell. Do you notice how Emma is not commenting anymore? I think she's watching Love Island because she watches Love Island at the minute, which is really sad. So bad, so tragic.
I'm joking.
I was like, where's Emma in this chat? Oh yeah, probably Love Island is on. So
to change the day now. 4 a.m. every Wednesday.
Oh no, she's still there. She's still there.
Wow.
She's probably just got us on in the background.
Wow.
But yeah. So honestly, mate. I mean, obviously we all stay in touch anyway. But like, good luck with the move.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully, it all goes smoothly.
I will provide all the updates I can as soon as things get confirmed. And yeah, it's gonna be something interesting. We'll say that much. I'm gonna try and keep track of the amount of times that I repeatedly collect my jaw up off the floor of just how great of a city Vancouver is. My friend has sold it to me, but I really feel like I'm not gonna know until I get there. So I will be back. I'll be back as soon as I'm set up over there. And during that time, I may jump in the chat for episodes if I can.
Yeah.
And try and get involved in that way.
Obviously, there's time differences and stuff and settling in. So,
yeah.
There we go. But sure, man, come back soon, man. We're going to miss you.
Yeah. Do it, Kyle.
Applications are open for Mikhail's replacement. So if you just email the chain dogs at gmail.com. We'll review all applications. You got to give us your coaster cred count.
We're expecting it to be competitive, so sell. We're expecting it to be competitive, so sell yourself.
Yeah,
and you have to be from Yorkshire. That is.
You got to be from Yorkshire. And we want a video interview, like a video application as well. Yeah. You need to demonstrate, even though you don't need editing skills, you want to see your editing skills in it.
And
just
you need
see
to
the
be
dedication.
Able to
really.
Limits. Yeah, you need to exactly. Every coaster type, every way a B&M's profiled.
At least 4 RMCs ridden, I think.
I'm out. Taxi.
No, but he's the RMC guy. He needs people who've done RMCs
for now.
For now.
2 weeks, bro.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. I've done 2, so I'm not far
away. Can't wait.
Okay, right. Thanks ever so much, everyone, for being in the chat. Really appreciate it. We will see you next week with James getting his opinions on Fantasia Land.
Yes, we will.
And I can't wait to hear what he thinks, man. I can't wait. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.